Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Football Inc. How you doing? Another day, another drama, another breaking news story in the world of Tottenham Hotspur. If you're a Tottenham fan, strap yourselves in. We got some takes and some takeaways from what is another bid for Tottenham Hotspur, the third expression of interest that has come in the last few weeks. Another unequivocal rejection from the owners that have been saying that they want what the fans want. They want to be ambitious. The new majority owners, all of this wall pulling and smoke blowing nonsense. We're going to talk about all that. It's enough to turn a man Enoch out. It's enough to make a man turn Enoch out. We'll talk about that, Jonny.
Surely not, Sean. Surely not.
Oh, I'll give you my take on it, but I'm going to hit yours first. Guys, before we get into that, please do smash the like button for us, like you always do. We love you over here for your loyalty and for your for the respect that you pay to the metrics that matter for us, like buttons and subs and all that sorts of things. And watch time, all that, you're brilliant. Thank you so much. Please do all that. Likes should be hit, subs should be rubbed, bells should be yelled at, and comments should be dropped. Also, on top of that, guys, if you are interested in the podcast format, when you're out walking the wife, you can watch this show on Spotify. You can hear it on Apple Pods. If you do find yourselves in those sorts of jurisdictions, then please search for Football Inc. and give us a 5-star rating and a follow. Or if you don't know where to do that, you can just find the links downstairs in the description. It's a big day to be a Tottenham fan. Lots to chew over. Jonny, how are ya?
I'm all right. Another day. Listen, you can't right now. You can't leave the internet for 5 minutes. I go out for a spot of dinner. I come back and all hell breaks loose. There was one.
It all started when you were having a shit that day, and Ange Postecoglou was sacked.
Do you remember that one? Yeah. It seems that I can't take my eye off the ball. It's quite funny actually. I saw a random post. I don't know who the person was, but they said 10 o'clock. Big news is dropping. Right.
Oh, that was
Who was that?
That was what's the Achilles something new Achilles news or something? What's
something like that? And
the guy works for like a KFC or something. You know, but he's got 450,000 followers on Twitter.
I know, but it actually dropped. It dropped at 9 o'clock. Anyway,
his story was about Harry Kane coming back. He wasn't talking about the takeover. Yeah. He was talking about Harry Kane. The story dropped from the Sun, didn't it? The Sun dropped it.
Look, I think the fact of the matter is, look, it all started the day that poor old Daniel turned up at the training ground and was told, you can't come back, you're blocked. Tracy, you're blocked, you can't come in. They loaded his stuff on a van and sent it to his house. Right. I mean, that is the way of the corporate world. In most corporate worlds, give us your computer.
Happened to me.
Yeah. But, it is kind of harsh when you see that, the 25 years he's done. But let's be serious, right? In the time that I've known Sean, I've spoken about Todd Bowley. I've spoken about, what's his name, from... my brain's gone fuzzy now. Bloomberg. I listed a whole load of people. The guy who owned the Boston Celtics, who'd shown very strong interest in taking a stake at Spurs. And none of them were officially acknowledged bids. Isn't it funny? As soon as he's marched out the building, we've had the Staveley one. We've had the guys in Hong Kong, and now we've got the NASA DJ, talking about this. Now, for me, Sean, I don't know about you, but I just hear a lot of double talk, because if you're really not interested in selling out or raising finance, okay, why are you still with Rothschilds? Why are you still with Rothschilds?
Well, they're cutting that contract, aren't they, first and foremost?
Yeah, but they've been with him over 2 years, Sean. They could have said, right, well, nothing's happened in 2 years, so, we're going to withdraw it now. We're no longer looking for investors. That's what they could have announced via Rothschilds, who are the people who are sort of looking after them. But the other thing I don't understand is why Why now? Why now are we suddenly believing that the capital-intensive project, which is the hotel, Hotspur Way, the housing development above, beyond the ground, opposite the ground where Chick King is, and Whitewebs, and the sporting complex and everything else is going to be funded entirely by ENIC? Can we really believe that that's going to be the case when they haven't funded anything significantly in the last 25 years, because all of the money has come from loans, Sean? So why suddenly are we to believe? Are they going to leverage? Are ENIC themselves going to leverage it against the club? We saw the 100 million payday loan against next year's income, or this year's income, should I say?
Mm.
That would signify, Sean, would it not, that they don't have the capital right here, right now to spend. Therefore, to do these projects that we're talking about, and they're massive projects, they will need funding. So are they pulling the wool over our eyes? Is it ye protest too much? That there is no substance where there is actually substance?
What I would say is, look, for me, the fact that the Martin Lipton story broke last night via The Sun, I did a video on it 9:30 last night, and I was like, it's a bit of a strange exclusive, a strange publication to get the exclusive.
You'd expect The Athletic, wouldn't you, or someone like
or the
that?
Financial Times, something like that, right? It comes from Martin Lipton, but Martin Lipton knows his Tottenham salts, right? He knows what he knows his onions, or whatever the phrase is. And turned out this morning it was true, right? It was true, because there has been an expression of interest, and it's been unequivocally rejected, a £4.5 billion offer to take over the company, which 3.3 billion of which was for the actual club, and 1.2 billion was going to be working capital. That 3.3 billion, mate, is wildly higher than any unrealistically high estimation from Deloitte, from any of the consulting firms out there that value Tottenham Hotspur. And look at the price that the club trades at on the asset in match. And by the way, I showed this on the last stream I was on. I'll show you right now. I said to you guys the other day,
about 700 million, wasn't it? Was it 700 million, something like that?
Yeah, but it did go through, right? Look at this. So something is going on, mate, because that auction did take place at £3.22 per share, and you can see it on the screen, the far right column. That is the highest, and it was more. It was it was far higher than what it was supposed to be when we did the show on it yesterday or 2 days ago.
Way higher, way higher,
right? And about a million quid's worth of shares traded.
The most, Sean, in how I can't see how many.
18 months. I think you have to go all the way back. You can look back. I think actually it's on the screen. Hang on, I'll show you. You have to go all the way back to 2023. So like May 20 or March 2023.
Equal to 2023.
About that, right? But no, it's actually not, because the price back then was just over £2 a share, not at £3.22. So in terms of money changing hands, it's the most money that's changed hands in the minority shareholding for years and years and years and years and years. Like it's the most ever. I think it's the most ever, right? In terms of
it's supposed to value 100%, because look at the share price has gone up considerably in this period,
right? And so there's definitely something going on. Then you wake up this morning and you find out that that Tottenham Hotspur have to come clean on this story. They hadn't last night, but they did this morning. First opportunity. When the news broke last night at 9 p.m, the markets were shut. Wake up this morning and the story breaks. Tottenham Hotspur have turned it down. They've rejected it unequivocally. And my take right now, and you know, mate, I am someone that I've never been ENIC out. I've never been Levy out. I've never been any of those things. I've always been okay with the organic journey. However, what I have had a problem with is the narrative in the last 4 weeks that has been brought into by all of the PR, all the people that have got access to the club, like the Ali Golds. No disrespect to him. I like the guy. I'm just saying that it's true that he refers to the ownership now as the new majority owners, as did the manager, Thomas Frank, as did Vinay. All of these people referring to it, lipstick on a pig, like something's different. And it isn't different. It's the same people. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. It might be different people that are essentially positioning themselves, but Levy's gone. Joe's no longer involved. The Lewis family are the new majority owners, and they want what the fans want. They want more wins, more consistently, more often. And then what's happened so far? Well, in the last 3 weeks since we've seen that, we've taken out a payday loan, Johnny, which isn't anything that couldn't have happened under the previous mechanism. Right. And they've turned down 3 expressions of interest for the football club, 2 of which we never got to see the colour of the money of. We didn't know what the ambition was. But if you're going to believe Martin Lipton, and now we should, because what he said yesterday actually did materialise this morning officially, then you might as well take the rest of that story true, which was that it was the blueprint of a Tottenham 3.0, where there was 1.2 billion, and that wasn't going to be a transfer fund. That was just an injection of working capital into the football club via a director loan or via just an injection of equity that essentially would give you money like running costs. But of that, the majority of that was dedicated towards player transfers, towards salaries, agents' fees, all of that stuff. Right? You still got to work within the remit of PSR and FFP, of which we've got loads of wiggle room on. But what my point is now, Johnny, is that the club have unequivocally rejected at least one of the 3. We don't know the other 2. We didn't know what they looked like, but we know what this one looks like. And it was 25% higher than the most unrealistic of overly optimistic valuations that any major consultancy firm was going to provide. And they were going to put 1.2 billion in. Here's what I will say just quickly. I said it on the last stream at the end. Yeah. If they're going to reject it, that's fine. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt with regards new ambition. But if you think £100 million injection of capital in the next couple of weeks is going to satisfy or placate the fans, when you now know what the alternative could be, which is £1.2 billion coming in, I'm sorry, I will be at every Change for Tottenham protest, front and centre, front of the queue, and promoting it. Not out of respect to them, but as a joiner of the movement, because I now know that you're being greedy, rejecting things that are 25% higher than the most over-realistic options anyway. And then you're going to try and placate people and give them 100 million quid, which doesn't touch the sides, when the alternative could have been that you got paid off, you got lucked out, and the fans get what they want. If they're going to sit there and pretend like they want what the fans want, then put up or shut up or piss off.
I mean, so we saw the takeover panel. I don't know if you got that, Sean, that you can bring that up for people.
Yeah, I've got it here now.
Right, so bring that up here so people can see that as well, so you can understand it. Well, the actual disclosure table. Have you got that one?
Which one? Sorry, what's that? What do you mean?
This
is the statement regarding the speculation. What are you talking about?
This disclosure. Shall I send it to you?
Hang on.
It's on my Twitter. Have a look on my Twitter.
Oh, I'll get it. Yeah, okay. Go on. Sorry. Carry on.
Twitter. Look, for me, first of all, they can't make that 1.2 billion part of that. I'm not sure how they'll make the 1.2 billion part of the takeover. There you go. Yeah, so there is proof that it's legit, guys.
Yeah, I think this is the same. This is the same thing from. This is from the London Stock Exchange.
Yeah. I've just showing them the form there. That was all.
Yeah, basically the same thing, right? That they've received an offer, and you might as well believe the numbers: 4.5 billion, and they've said nah, reject it. On that basis, Johnny, these owners better put their hand in their pocket to a lot of a higher tune than 100 million quid if they want us to be okay with their version of the future versus the alternative, which we now know the colour of that money.
Well, listen. Look, we know that the hotel, Whitewebs, okay, the property developer across the road, the Extreme Sports Centre, all of that, right? You're looking at between 300 and 500 million. That's just for that. Okay, so where is the money going to come from for transfers and all the rest of it? Number one. Number two, why have they not put in any of this money over the last 25 years? It's all been leverage money, money loaned from the banks. And let's be honest, this buyout will not cover the debt, Sean. We would still have a large debt. We would still have 1.2.
No, the 3.3 billion, I would imagine, would pay off the debt.
Well, you don't know that.
I don't know it. But if you're doing a buyout, you buy out the company and that wipes out the debt generally.
Yeah, not always. Not always. It depends.
The vast majority of the times it would.
You're
right. I don't know, but I'm making an assumption.
The other thing is what concerns me as well with buyouts is the large amount of subsidiary companies within Tottenham. We've got Tottenham Hotspur Hotels. We've got Tottenham Stadium. We've got Tottenham Ladies. We've got Tottenham. Are we going to get a situation whereby, you know, he buys it, but ENIC hold on to the stadium, but we're buying the club? Like, there's all sorts of scenarios here. What I don't understand is if he was to bid the 4.2, that 4.2, how can they guarantee that the 1.2 is only earmarked for the for transfers and doesn't go to any of the shareholders? How's that going to work?
No, it would. If you're buying the entirety of the football club, that includes the money to the shareholders as well, the minority shareholders as well.
Yeah,
buy the whole lot.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying to you is that, you know, they only want to pay 3 billion, 3.3 billion or 3.5 billion, which is well over the odds. I mean, the shares that have been bought at £3.22 still values the company only £700 million, right? Which is way below the valuation and the bid price. So who, knowing all this is going on or has wind of it, would be willing to sell their shares? It's definitely not Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy's not going to sell some of his shares off when he's, you know, for a valuation of 700 million, when he knows full well that he's holding out for 2.5, 3, 4 billion. So who are these minority shares that they've hoovered up? And don't forget.
Well, I honestly, like, as much as I don't honestly, I can't really work it out.
That's the thing. That's the thing. This is
there's a hell of a lot. The most amount of minority shareholders being trading hands. Plus, you've got the whole Ashcroft story that happened yesterday or 2 days ago. There's a hell of a lot going on here, mate. And I consider myself to be someone that usually understands or can really give some insight on these things. But yeah. I genuinely can't make heads or tails of who it is that's buying, who it is that's selling, at what price point and why, and what's the Ashcroft thing. There's very little clarity in these things, mate. But thank goodness for the minority shareholders, because when you spoke about earlier, Todd Bowley's and these guys that were coming in, as much as they might not have got to the point where an expression of interest was made officially, and therefore you can make the argument that Daniel Levy just sort of don't even bother.
Well, don't even bother. Stay on. Todd Bowley, from what I was told from very good sources, I mean, like very good sources at the time, Daniel wanted to remain as CEO, and Todd Bowley wanted that position, so therefore it fell into the quicksand, and they then moved on to Chelsea, and we know what happened there. And one of the guys behind it is a big Spurs supporter, and facilitated.
If they had made an expression of interest that was actually formal, then they would have. Like Daniel Levy couldn't have like stopped that getting to the, because there's a that you have.
Yeah. I understand that. Look, the thing is here. I mean, you know, Daniel Levy sitting there with 29% of ENIC's 87%, and you know he's gonna sit tight. I don't believe he's behind. You know, there's rumours I've read already online that he's behind the consortium to take back the. That ain't happening.
Hilarious if we did.
Yeah, it would be hilarious, but I just
imagine that. Imagine that if our first appointment. By the way, at the same time, we got some other stories out from Ali Gold saying that Vinay, there's a lot more happening in the way of board restructuring. The intention is to bring in, I think it was 6 or 8. I'll bring the tweets up in a second, of new directors and new board members, and one of them is going to be the CMO, the guy from Arsenal. One's the lady from the DEI thing, the DEI hire. And then obviously maybe Catalina Kim might be a part of that. Remember, she was introduced back into the club back in the summer as well. Jonny, you know, both of us do our best. We both put our sort of thinking hats on, right, and try and chew through it.
I just want to see all those people.
Much going on at the moment, Jonny. It's so difficult to figure out what's going on, bro.
All I want to know is where all those people who have been hounding me, right, for the last March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, 6-7 months, saying, where's your buyout? You talk bollocks, you talk crap, you Charrington crap. I had that for months. Then when I went on about Vinay, I had that. you've all gone very, very quiet now. You know who you are. And no doubt you'll be listening or watching or messaging. You've all gone very quiet now because there is substance to all of this, right? Daniel's gone. The bids are coming in. We need the money. And I just feel I just sort of feel a bit vindicated because when you're pissing in the wind and you're saying something that's against the grain, that's something that people wanted. And I know, Sean and I have said that we definitely believe something is going on, and we've maintained it for a long time now.
December, since that shares issue that happened in December, that was then doubled down on in January, that came out with conflicting reports that were never cleared up.
No,
those things.
Carrington was the big one. Carrington.
I don't know. I think the NDAs that happened in January was a trigger as well with Anders Stavely, the share issues in December, and then in March Charrington, and then in April Vinay, and then in June everything that happened after that. I think it's been going on for a long time. But Charrington for sure was a major part of the story, 100%.
Listen, the American group, that management group, something was it Go River, the American company. Internal management oversee. They were wondering what was going on at the club. The Lewises were not happy with what was going on at the club. There was something they felt that was fundamentally wrong. So they sent in a company to oversee and report back. Once they reported back on what was going on, in came Charrington, in came the rest, and the rest is history. They obviously identified Daniel and maybe Donna as the cop blocks, potentially. We don't know, but the restructuring has been stratospheric, let's be honest. And Charrington, absolutely top draw. Vinay, top draw. The guy they bought in from Arsenal, top draw, 15 years at Nike. The Asian lady that's coming in, all top level people. And I've maintained right from the start that this is dressing the board for a takeover, for inward investment, because the credibility of the board now is not some core blimey, mate, like we used to have with a Sugar and all the rest of it, and what Daniel's done and how Daniel operated, to a more, what would you say, more corporate structure, top-end corporate banking, investment banking structure that would appeal to investors, Sean, as opposed to, how it was run before. But listen, Ulrika Paratici, top draw. Well, listen, I basically think that Paratici's on another level to Johan Lang when it comes to identifying talent. I'll be brutally honest with you. Yes, I do. Interesting news actually in the Athletics today, Sean, that said that Daniel Levy was heavily involved in the Xavi Simons deal because he wanted to make up for what happened with the Eze deal and pulled in Kolo Muani. But he was never there to actually see the fruits of his labour. But
this is again, you talked about vindication earlier. As soon as that Daniel Levy thing happened, I hate doing this. I felt like I was the whole time. People were saying, you're still defending Levy. I'm not defending Levy. I just don't buy for a fucking second that this is all convivial. I don't buy it. And the fact that he was shut out of the football club, mate, and wasn't allowed to pick up his belongings. And people were telling me, well, no, his son's still in charge of Tavistock, which might all be true. And that the families are always as united as ever. I've heard this a million times. That doesn't happen if the guy's been shut out of Tottenham Hotspur. Like it never made any sense to me, and I'll maintain to the day I'll die on the hill. And I'm glad today's news came out because it does go in line with my theory that he actually was thrown under the bus. He wasn't the problem at Tottenham Hotspur. The problem why Tottenham didn't win enough trophies was because, and I've maintained this again, I'll die on this hill until the day I die, that the rules are not set up to allow for competition. They closed the door after the horse was bolted. And it's the root cause of all of the inequality in outcomes in football is because of money and the fact that the rules aren't worth the paper they're written on, and that they're set up to protect the status quo. And Daniel Levy was the poster boy of trying to fix that And in the end, he was the victim of people not understanding those things and being frustrated when you just internally analyze Tottenham Hotspur. And with him being the face of the ownership, he was the guy that was the problem. And then the Lewis children saw that and went, here's an opportunity. Let's blame him. Let's get rid of him and let's go. And there's no chance that Daniel Levy was okay with that. And that's why I think that him being shut out and locked out and not being able to pick up his belongings, all that stuff, it all plays into the narrative.
Listen, it's corporate standard, Sean. Let's be honest, right? It's corporate standard. You're marched out the building. You have to give over your computer, your contacts, and all the rest of it. But look, let's not mess around here, right? Daniel did cock block a lot of things, right? He was one of the reasons why, with the internal investigation by what's name River, that they found that some of the things that were happening in the club were due to Daniel's.
You don't know that. You don't know that. We never saw the. You're massively speculating. You don't know. None of us know what happened with that review.
I'm not over speculating as to them being called in, but
no, I know you're not. But I know there was a call in, but you don't know what the outcome was.
Well,
I'm saying that this narrative. When I was saying there's no chance that this is all convivial. If it was convivial, there's no chance that Daniel Levy would be okay with the way it's being represented. It didn't make any sense. You could smell a rat from 1,000 yards on that one. And today the news comes out that, he was blocked out, locked out, all that stuff. And just because his son is still in charge and the families have history, families fall out all the time. I think Daniel Levy was absolutely thrown under the bus by the Lewises, who thought they could take an opportunity to whitewash the history. And this is my point now. I've never been Enoch out. I don't care about the past anymore, but I've never been Enoch out because I was okay with the kind of the progress and the optimism around some idea that PSR and FFP would work. It hasn't worked. It's hurt the small teams that have become affected by it. But the big teams, the Chelseas and all that stuff, they just walk through the loopholes.
Well,
we've spoken about that 1,000 times, right? But what I will say right now is, now that we know that there is an alternative to the Enoch situation, and it comes in the guise of people that are NFL backers. And by the way, John, I don't know if you saw my last stream. I got loads of insights into who those people might be and where their overlaps are with the guy from the crypto, the ex-DJ, massive guy. We'll talk about that stuff. But the reality is that now we know what the alternative could look like because we've seen the color of their money. If they reject it, which they have, and that's the end of the story. If Charlie and Vivian Lewis think that they can put 100 million quid into the club and that will placate the fans and pretend like, you see, it was Levy that was the problem and Daddy Joe, and forget about all that shit. We mean business. We want what the fans want. Here's 100 million quid. It's the equivalent of that 16th century king or queen in France that said, let them eat cake. It's ridiculous.
Look, the thing is though, Sean, right? We don't know what's going on. There's the board meeting, the first board meeting held by Charrington today, the first without Daniel Levy in 20-odd years, 25 years or whatever, that he's not been part and parcel and leading it. And for all we know, there might be another bid. There might be a cash injection that's already been agreed, whether it's the naming rights or whatever. We don't know that right now, which is why they may be rejecting this offer. That much we don't know. And to some of the guys in the chat, just to say to you, when I talk about Johan Lang, I see you coming back at me with Lucas Bergvall. 100% Johan Lang deserves the credit for signing Lucas Bergvall. No question about it. But I can list all of his bad signings as well. But I can certainly list the vast majority of top signings that are still at the club that came from Paratici. So you just work them out. 12 million Papa Sarr, 15 million Destiny Adogi, Cuti Romero, Mickey Van der Ven. I could go on. There's no point. Kulu, Bentancur. So that's the argument for another day. That's an argument for another day. But Sean, who are the guys that you've been told or that have been linked in the NFL? Could be an NFL fan, or can
NFL and NBA, right? So no, I just did a few. Listen, there's nothing out there. I'll be honest. I'm just sort of doing some research, if you like, doing some speculation around who it could be, and I'm just asking sort of ChatGPT, Grok, or whatever. Makes sense. Can you do some digging on the various owners of the NFL and the NBA? Where could the overlap be? What's the most likely kind of candidates when you hear that 13 people, of which many are NFL and NBA? And the names that came up were from the NFL. It was Jerry Jones. He's worth $14 billion. Obviously, a lot of people think he's a donut. He's a Daniel Levy of NFL. Obviously, been around a long time. That doesn't win shit, all that stuff. But listen, he's been pushing for international series and the most aggressive globalizer in the NFL. And he's one who's been eyeing a London franchise. He publicly mused about soccer investments a couple of years ago to tap into emerging markets, and his media empire, the Cowboy Networks, could amplify the guy Eric, Brooklyn Eric's blockchain ticketing plans. And this is like, as soon as I saw that phrase, I went, "Oh shit!" Okay, so obviously we know right now that ticketing in the Premier League is a massive problem. I don't know how much you know about non-fungible tokens, Johnny, but like it's a brilliant idea that it keeps things that are unique to the owner. You can't sell them, you can't trade them. It's not, or you can sell them and trade them, but it's like the ownership follows a path that's trackable. And obviously, there's other things that come
to the club, or would they belong to the club ultimately, or would they been to? So if I buy them, do they belong?
If the ticket would be issued, like the NFT, the ticket would be the NFT. It's issued by the club, and you'd be able to follow the path of who it is that has it and who it is that uses it. And of course, those things can also come with other things. That Gary Vaynerchuk is the example I use. He's like a massive marketing influencer. He set up an NFT program in 2021, I think it was 2022. And if you owned one of his little pixelated graphic pictures of him and his team or whatever, then it cost you whatever it cost you, and it traded hands. But at the same time, those things come with other benefits. Like if you own this thing, you always get a VIP ticket to every annual event that I do for the entirety.
I know, but where did they go though? There was a massive flop, Sean. I mean, my son was driving me mad to buy.
No, of course, but all things in crypto is cyclical, right? Like all things are. Even Bitcoin, it has like 4-year cycles, right? They call it crypto winter and crypto summer. We're about to move. We're about to enter out of crypto.
Yeah, going back to where. Just sorry to interrupt, but going back to where we were, right? The fact of the matter is, white webs, it might be pitched as a ladies' football team centre, but the ultimate goal here is an NFL training centre to match the NFL pitch, to match the NFL franchise. And as Jerry Jones has said, that he wants to see a bigger league, with teams in Germany and so on and so forth. Tottenham are the best placed.
The only viable candidate, because they've got the pitch, right? They've got the pitch under the ground,
so they've got it all.
They've got the changing rooms that are like 4 times the size that can fit an NFL team.
So here's my point. So just to finish my point, so 4.2 billion is nothing.
Nothing to them.
It's nothing because
I've got the data. Here.
Look at the NFL franchise and how much an NFL franchise is worth.
Yeah, I brought this up. I think I brought this up in late August for us.
Yeah, we spoke about it, didn't we? We spoke about it then.
So the
value of franchises in comparison.
I get this up, or do I have to get rid of it?
$59.99.
Yeah, that's how much it costs. No, here we go. So the valuation, is it going to be in one little? No, I'm going to do it individually. So at the very top end of the market, right? The highest one is Dallas Cowboys, valued at $13 billion.
Yeah.
Right. Look at the operating income. That's about the same as Tottenham's. Tottenham had about 550 million quid last year. In dollars, that's about 629 million, give or take, right? A couple of million here or there. That's the operating. Sorry, that's the income. Sorry, the revenue was about 1.2 billion. So that's massively higher, right? Massively higher. But that's the number one. If you go all the way to the bottom of this list, to 32, number 32 is Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals, right, has less revenue than Tottenham Hotspur, and yet they're valued at more than Tottenham Hotspur. New Orleans Saints, 5.3 billion, revenue about the same, and that's just for a sport it's a global sport, but it's played in one continent. If Tottenham Hotspur were to be able to bring in under the same consolidated accounts an NFL franchise and a football club that has the global reach, you're talking about easily getting valuations of 12 billion. Easily getting valuation. Tottenham Hotspur with a team that can compete in the Champions League and for the Premier League every year, with the stadium, with the pitch, with the training ground, all that stuff. And you've got an NFL team and you've got a Premier League team. You're talking about revenues that will be bigger than this, and you've got a valuation that will be bigger than that, because you're merging a global sport that's played globally and a global sport that's watched globally but played locally. Then both of those things can merge in both ways, right? You've got the World Cup in America, so the narrative, the value proposition of merging Tottenham Hotspur into a London Hotspur football NFL franchise as well. That's what makes sense. That's what makes the most
London
sense.
Cockerels. Are we going to see a giant cockerel going there? The London Cockerels.
Absolutely insane, Johnny. We'll have to start. Listen, when it happens, Football Inc. will have a sister channel, right? And it will be maybe we can call it Football Inc. as well, but we'll just do twice the shows, mate. We'll do it about NFL as well.
My son is massive on NFL, right? He could sit here and I watch it. I do the fantasy NFL, but he's on another level to me. Guys, if you're in the chat, please hit the like and subscribe button. I know loads of you come in here and watch, but not all of you hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you any money, doesn't hurt you, but it certainly helps us. So if you can hit the subscribe button, we're trying to get to 5,500. And please hit the like button. And if you're listening in audio, please give us a follow. Sean, there's some super chats. Do you want to do those quickly?
Yeah, I'll do them. And then we'll get back to the NFL, NBA likely candidates. So Dean Law, big up. He's always here. Houdini's got the disappearing act. No, Houdini's got the appearing act every single time. Every single boy. I'm looking forward to meeting you for a beer tomorrow. By the way, Dean, I don't know if you also want to meet Johnny. Johnny, I don't know if you're around, but I'm meeting Dean for a beer. He's a massive supporter, mate. If you've got a chance to come up for a beer or a lemonade, Johnny, I know you don't drink very much.
No, I do drink, but just not a lot.
It's like me with without other things. Big up to you, Dino. Well, I'll catch you up on Twitter later on, mate, and we'll have a chat. Joe, my man, Joe, mashing a Joe, so generous, buddy. And he's out in Pattaya right now with his girlfriend, having a good time. My Croatian brother from another mother. He says Moyes is a rubbish manager. I hate him with a passion. I mean, I don't want to go with that. I personally rate David Moyes. I do rate David Moyes. Johnny, do you?
Yeah, no, I do. I mean, obviously, talk about thrown under the bus. That's where he was thrown under the bus at Man United after Alex Ferguson, the job nobody wanted, destined to fail, set up to fail. But I think he's proved himself at West Ham, winning a trophy and going to a free-falling Everton and rescuing them literally overnight and turning them into a decent team. So, no, I think, and then his previous stint at Everton, I think he's more than proved himself as a top manager. But, different strokes for different folks.
100%. Everton are on the up, though, Joe. Doing well this year, much better than before. Ulrika Johnson, big up to you, Ulrika. How are you? Hope you're okay. Appreciate you very much for your super sticker. Choo choo to you, Ulrika. Choo choo to you. And we're leaving Australia on the train. We're picking up over in Orange. We're going to go east. We're going to go via the Pacific, and we're stopping off in Orange County, Los Angeles.
The OC.
To see you over there, Mr. Spurs OC. Big up to you, buddy. Thank you very much for your generosity as well. And I think then we're coming a little bit more internally into America. I'm not sure where Blake is. I forget where Blake is in America, but we're picking you up as well, Blake.
Let us know, Blake.
Let us know, Blake. Let us know where you're from. Thank you very much indeed for your super sticker as well. Choo choo to you. Choo choo to you. Johnny, let me just quickly park back to this thing here I was going to show you. So I asked some questions around who these people could be. Next option was Robert Kraft, right? The chocolate guy. New England Patriots. And he's got $11 billion worth of net wealth. He has dipped into soccer. Via an agency repping stars like Rafael Leao. His son Josh leads the Kraft Group's international push. Patriots London Games history and Kraft's emphasis on global ecosystems mirror Eric's vision.
Will we see Kraft cheese slices sold at the Spurs counters?
100%.
Why not? Dairy Lee triangles.
By the way, mate. By the way. I wasn't drinking on at the game, and when I'm not drinking, I usually substitute my my need to spend money at the stadium by going and getting food. So I tried a couple of different stands, a couple of different stalls in the South Stand, and I went and got the Korean chicken burger.
Yeah, very good.
I don't know if you tried it, mate.
Yeah.
It was the most horrendous thing I've ever tried in
Really?
my entire. It was
I
awful.
like popcorn chicken. I like the popcorn chicken. I like it.
The Korean chicken stand. I had a chicken burger. It was like, I don't know what it was. It was gloopy. It was covered in some. It was horrendous. Anyway, won't be going back there. I need to find a better stand to get my food from. So then we got the Robert Kraft option. We got Jeffrey Lurie of the Eagles. He's not quite as wealthy. And he explored European sports via the Eagles Frankfurt games. I'm not sure what that is. And he backs innovative ventures like fan engagement tech, which would align with Eric's app and blockchain roots. Grok reckons that Philly's market could benefit from Premier League crossovers. Less vocal on soccer than Jones, but reports of NFL team owners' interest in Tottenham post Levy point towards a decent plausibility. This is where the interesting ones are, though. Tillman Fertitta. This is the NBA stuff. Right, so we're looking for NBA and NFL potential suitors. Houston Rockets have got Tillman Fertitta, who owns $9 billion worth of net wealth in casino and hospitality. Hotels, casino, hospitality, hotels. Has flirted with soccer via MLS talks and global events, emphasizing experiential venues. Perfect for Tottenham Stadium. His Landry's empire, I think Landry Hotel, ties into Eric's Singapore tech networks and no Premier League exposure yet. Recent NBA sales, he sold the Celtics at 6.1 billion, free up capital for side bets. It's a little bit insulting calling Tottenham a side.
Yeah, but listen, look, Ryan Reynolds. Look, they've looked at when you've looked at Tom Brady coming in at Birmingham, and that being on Prime, and you look at Ryan Reynolds' takeover at Wrexham, and the huge exposure he's getting on the Disney Channel over in America, he's whetted the appetite of proper billionaires. I mean, I'm not saying Tom Brady is not wealthy. Ryan Reynolds is unbelievable. His aviator gin sold for some ridiculous sum of money. But we're talking about serious billionaires here, and there are plenty, waiting to pounce. But for all we know, Sean, there might be oil money waiting in them hills. Well, we have to see. Shall we move on now to other news?
On that basis. Well, whilst we keep sticking with financial incentives, have you seen Newcastle United?
No, good.
Newcastle United, I think it was £120 million
injection. Newcastle
owners have injected circa £110 million today into Newcastle. So, I think they're worried, mate. They're a little bit panic-stricken that Tottenham Hotspur are about to come big. What are you thinking about that? Newcastle, 110 million? Does it touch the sides anymore, Johnny?
Mate, honestly, that's probably what they spend on lunch in Saudi. Do you know what I mean? In the kingdom. Different. It's. I mean, listen, they're the richest wealth fund on the planet, other than Norway, I think. But I don't know. It's loose change. We know full well that if the safety belt came off and there was no FFP and PSR, Newcastle would literally have Mbappe. They would have Messi. They would have everybody. They would literally have a who's who. It would be a Galacticos, and the rest of it, the teams would be in the mud, more or less. So that's not what I want to see in football. I want to see these restrictions remain and stay in place, but they've got to be fit for purpose. They're circumventing by Chelsea and Villa and Newcastle and the like. Has got to stop. Because it just makes a farce of the whole thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
What was I going to say? Talk about top sporting directors. Andrea Berta, as we sort of touched on briefly, Saliba has signed a new 5-year contract. That means that Real Madrid will not be getting their hands on him unless they pay some crazy shit money. And also, he's quite confident that Bukayo Saka is going to stay as well. I mean, two massive signings for them, signing those two to long-term contracts. But one player who's seriously given some consideration for leaving, I'm sure Arsenal are going to be really upset, is Gabriel Jesus. He seems to have spent more time injured than just about any player.
Yeah.
Man City certainly don't regret selling that one. But despite all these signings that they've made, they're still desperately looking for other players. Kenan Yildiz, Juventus, he's going to end up going next summer, isn't he? Do you not think? I think it's going to be some massive bid. It's going to be 80, 100 million pounds.
Where's he going to go to? He loves you, mate.
So he says.
Yeah.
So he says. Sergio Busquets is retiring from football, end of the current MLS season. I thought he'd already retired.
What a six he is, mate. What a six. If you
what
could,
a player he was, eh?
You could bottle whatever. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What a player he was. Actually, talking about players and age and the rest of it, Oliver Giroud scored a goal last night. 38, I think it's nearly 39 years of age.
Yeah.
Typical Giroud goal, header for Lille to win the game. Guy's unbelievable, mate. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, how some footballers just seriously look after themselves. They're not out there boozing and partying. They look after themselves and they have a long career. You look at James Milner, you look at Henderson and look at others, you got a hand to them. Not many of them.
On the other side, you see people that just burn themselves out for one reason or another. No, it's very rare these days that you see people that fall off because of letting themselves go. It's more because of just like the money kind of spoils them rather than you don't really hear about like alcoholics in football or anything else. Any of the other I mean, maybe Mikhail Mudryk, I think is the latest. I mean, who was the Villa goalkeeper from the 90s, the Australian guy, Mark Bosnich. But it's very rare that you ever hear stories about like professional footballers that have all that money that then also become a victim of addiction, essentially, right? But you do see players that just fall off because they lose interest in the game. But there's as many as there are of them. There's still a lot of players, like you say, that treat their bodies like they are the temple that they should be treated as. And that managed to get 40 years out of their career, or 40 years out of their lifetime before their career is done.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
It's very impressive. It's a rarity, but it's super impressive. Do you think Harry Kane will get to 40 and still be playing?
No, I reckon. Well, he's never been blessed with pace, but I can see him ending up in the MLS. I can see him maybe even playing in Italy. I think he'll go to Barcelona next. Is my bet. We'll do the other story in a minute. One's interesting for me is Rio Nguma. I think it's fascinating that Liverpool managed to talk him out of Chelsea, a young kid from Southeast London, to move to Liverpool from Chelsea with the promise of a pathway. And we speak about pathways, and I think if you're at Chelsea now, there's often this thrown at Spurs, there is no pathway, a real pathway into the first team. But Liverpool have consistently shown that there is a pathway, and they managed to sell in this story of a pathway into the first team. And by them selling Diaz to Barcelona, to Bayern Munich, it has opened up the pathway for him. We saw him in pre-season absolutely smashing it, 16-year-old kid. And he looks a really, really exciting prospect. He's officially signed a new Liverpool contract now until 2028. He's going to be a key part of their long-term project.
Was that today, was it?
I think that was done late last night, that one. But it's an important signing for them. Liverpool insiders are now concerned that William Saliba's new contract is likely to mean it's going to be harder for them to keep Ibrahim Konate. Liverpool are really in trouble with the news that Leone is out for at least a year with this ACL.
Yeah,
having already been threadbare and not getting Mark Gahey. They need to sign him. They need to chop him up to a new contract. I'm not sure if they're going to manage to do that or not. But in the same breath,
I think he's going to go to. I think he's going to go to Madrid, mate.
Yeah, I think he's going to go as well. It's funny because they go on about that. I don't know if he plays on the same side as a Google.
Will he get more money at Liverpool because Liverpool get the benefit of the homegrown tag?
Well, he can sign a pre-contract with Real Madrid.
Yeah, but there's no, like, the benefit of a pre-contract's irrelevant, right? Like you know you're going to get a deal in the summer anyway. So like he can sign a pre-contract and Liverpool can't stop him doing that, and therefore he can go to Real Madrid, but he still can't play for Real Madrid until the summer. I think he'll go in January.
Oh, yeah, but there's a difference. If you don't sign it and then you get injured, right? Okay,
that's true. But my point is, I just think that he will. I think that Palace will accept. Like Liverpool are probably delighted right now that Leone's got injured without being horrible because, I think so, because Palace are probably going to sit there and think he's definitely leaving. Okay, he's 100% leaving at the end of the summer. So we're either going to get 25 million quid from him in January or nothing at all in the summer. But now that Leone's injured, they can hold out and say, I want 35 million quid, and Liverpool will probably pay it. Because they also know, to your point, that he could join Real Madrid. I don't think Real Madrid will pay 35 million quid for him, because I think Real Madrid will go and get Konate.
Be interesting one to see. I'll come on to that in a minute. I've got another story that I'll come on to regarding Liverpool's interest about centre-back, because they really are threadbare. If they lose Konate or Virgil van Dijk or Gomez to injury, they've got 2 or 3 centre-backs to last them through 4 competitions. It's not going to work. One will be interesting to Man City fans and to Spurs fans. Manchester City are closing in on a new contract on Savinho. Talks are at an advanced stage with the Brazilian winger to stay at City for the long term, following the decision to reject approaches from Tottenham in the summer. Do you think his agents use this as a ploy, Sean, to get a better, longer contract for Savinho? Or do you think it was genuine that he wanted to come to Spurs?
I don't know, mate. I got no idea. I think he was concerned about minutes. I think he should still be concerned about minutes, to be entirely honest. But do you really want to leave a club that have said that they want you, that's as good as City is, to go and sign up to a 4-year contract at a place like Tottenham? You know, just because of your World Cup minutes. Would you think he'll get into the World Cup regardless? Because you've also got the other dilemma, right? Which is his competitor for that spot is a geezer in Real Madrid who's also not happy. There's two people in Madrid that are fighting for that spot that aren't happy right now. So maybe Savinho's thinking, by a process of elimination, I'm in the same boat as they are.
Well, I mean, look, listen, every day that story shows Rodrigo goes, isn't happy, then Vinicius Jr. isn't happy, trying to keep the egos at bay, is a hard thing at Real Madrid. Actually, talking about Real Madrid, Eduardo Camavinga is now a subject of interest of Newcastle as well. Interesting that suddenly the top Premier League clubs are really going for him. One that's in the news, which I had to laugh about, which was, I can't remember who posted it, but Tottenham agent in talks with Tottenham to bring Harry Kane back to Spurs, failing to mention that his brother Charlie is in fact his agent. No mention of that, of course. But I thought that was quite funny, to be honest with you, mate, that they mentioned him.
Yeah.
They failed to mention him. Just going back to the Liverpool trouble that they have at centre back. They've been named of having very strong interest in Ronald Araujo, their centre-back, who, interestingly, only signed a new contract, extended contract in January, but seems to be surplus to requirement at the moment to Hansi Flick.
Is he, though? He was brilliant against Newcastle.
Listen, I think he's... he hasn't been getting a lot. I think he's a top centre-back. Chelsea and Tottenham's names were also mentioned. You see, this is what happens, isn't it? He signs a contract, doesn't get... He doesn't... It starts getting admitted. The noise comes out. The club deny that, they have any interest in selling him. But other clubs, obviously, who are posturing, who need a quality centre-back, he's probably one of the better ones out there at the moment. Absolutely top draw. But I would have thought that if anyone was going to, come for him this way, it's going to be Newcastle. Going to be Liverpool. Surely. No.
Yeah, he's part of the leadership team at Barcelona. I don't know. I don't believe he's going to leave. I don't think he is.
I don't believe it too. But it's interesting. Like,
and if they do lose him, who do they? They've got Kubasi, but they need another player that And Barcelona have already got too many problems with squad registration issues. I don't see who they're going to replace.
Maybe that's what it is. I mean, I it's hard to actually know. But look,
yeah, exactly. There you go. Look, yeah, he's not surplus to requirements, mate. He scored yesterday and played 90 minutes as captain.
Yeah,
I don't buy the story for a second.
Well, I mean, it's in the people who are reporting it are not sort of flyweights.
Who are they?
They are. It's through the man who's been in the mud.
Romano.
Yeah, through Romano and Co. But we'll have to see. Listen, you can't get away from the fact that Liverpool are an injury away from a serious issue at the back there. And
brace yourself for a Van der Ven bid, maybe, mate.
Well, maybe. Listen, these signing of new contracts make no sense at all. Look at the Wolves, the Wolves manager. He hasn't won a game, right, in the league. He signs a 3-year contract and loses his next game.
Yeah. But he beat Everton in the cup in midweek, and we've got to play them tomorrow. Dr. Tottenham, your next patient will see you now.
We have a terrible record against Wolves in recent years. Should we do the score predictions, Sean?
Yeah,
right. We need someone in the chat, guys.
Anyone in the chat? Foxy, Foxy already played or not? I don't think he has he? Foxy, would you like to be the predictor to get the chat back on side? Because there's a massive goal there. Listen, I'm kicking ass right now.
Listen, it's early doors, Sean. It's early doors. The season's only just started, mate. The season has only just...
I know. I'm just saying, the trend is your friend. If Marshall, you can do it. If there's no member, if anyone is a member would like to throw in Daniel Field, it can be you. Foxy, it can be you. I'm just trying to see who else is in the house. With a member of the show. Tony can be you.
Yeah, Marshall. They voted Marshall. Let's go with Marshall.
All right, Marshall. Before we do that, let's just get a couple of super chats done. 1 second. Joe's come back in saying you would never have him at Tottenham. This is about this.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
It's true. It's fair enough. Say it's fair enough. Yeah, I wouldn't be happy to
fair
say
enough. Fair enough.
That is fair enough, mate. That is fair enough. Big up to you, my man. Ross Pearlstone, big up to you, buddy. He's put in a $5 super chat. Big up to you, man. I mean, you haven't said anything, though, so I'll just say thank you very much for the generosity.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you.
And Chopped Liver, big up to you, Chopped Liver. He says Kraft Foods and Robert Kraft not related. Oh, they're not related. Oh, okay. Choo from LA.
Thank you very much, Chopped Liver. I love a bit of chopped liver on a Friday. A little bit of gherkin on the top, and a bit of holler. That's my bag. That's my band. Yeah, love that. Love that.
Thank you very much, Chopped Liver. Appreciate you very much indeed. All right, listen, Mr. Marshall, you are up today to play this week's version, game week 6 of Prediction Time.
Who's gonna win this weekend? Gotta predict the scores. Gotta be Nostradamus, picking wins, losses, and draws. Who's gonna win
All right, let's go. As you know, Marshall, the rules are as follows. You get 3 points for a correct scoreline prediction, 1 point for a correct result, nil point for anything else. And at the end of the 10-game predictions, you get to pick a player of the week. And if that person scores an assist, he gets a point. If he scores a goal, and for every goal, he gets 3 points, and every assist, he gets 1 point. We'll spend 30 seconds talking about each game. Jonny, the first game out of the traps is tomorrow morning at 12, or tomorrow lunchtime at 12:30. Brentford versus Manchester United. I'll give you the first dibs on the game.
I'm going to go Brentford 1, Manchester United 2.
Okay, what's happening in the game then? Explain to me.
Well, I just think that somehow Amarin has got it going. Yeah, I believe maybe some belief there. I don't think Brentford. I think Brentford are struggling, but I think they'll score a goal probably from a throw. But I think this is one that Man United desperately need to win to get some momentum, and the poor guy needs a haircut. So I'm all behind him, trying to get the 5 in a row that he needs to get the haircut. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Brentford win. Bruno Fernandes, Cunha's back. Bruno Fernandes starting to find a bit of form. Yeah, I'm going 2-1.
All right, Marshall, let me know your thoughts. I can see the chat is saying 2-1. That's not at Spurs yet. 2-1 Brentford win, says AJ. 1-1, 2-1 to United. DB is saying United got lucky. Marshall, where are you, Marshall? Oh, here we go.
2-2. Desmond.
Will the real Marshall Mathers please stand up? 2-2.
I've nearly thought about that one, but yeah.
I'm going to go for 1-1. I think that United away from home, dog shit. Let's be honest.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. You're writing these down, yeah, Sean.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you go first for the Chelsea Brighton.
Leeds versus Bournemouth. The chat, let me know. Marshall, let us know. I am going. This is a difficult one. I am going to say. Oh, do I want to go for a bit of a weird one? I'm going to say Leeds are good at home defensively. I'm going to say 1-1.
Okay.
I think that Leeds are very good at home defensively. I think Bournemouth are probably better than the other boys that have gone there so far and haven't failed to score. Leeds have got two clean sheets out of 3 at home. I think this is their third game at home. So if they do concede, it will be their first time this season, I believe, in the Premier League at least. I'm going for 1-1. What are you saying, Jonathan?
Well, for me, I really like this stack. My son highlighted him as one to watch. Really good player, midfielder. But I think it's going to be 2-1 to. I'm going to go 2-1 Bournemouth, but Stack to score a goal. But 2-1 Bournemouth.
As is Marshall, as is most of the chat. Most of the chat are going 2-1 Bournemouth, and Marshall's done the same thing. So fair play. We shall move on to the next game. Chelsea versus Brighton. Fucking interesting game, this one. I can't wait to watch this. I'll be watching that on the VPN on the way up to the game tomorrow night. Chelsea Brighton. I think this is a 3 o'clock kickoff, mate.
Yeah, thoughts? 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Okay. I'm going to go. 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. Why?
I think Brighton will be difficult. They'll be difficult to break down. It depends if they got Belieber back focused, because his head's been turned. He's not been the same player. They've been missing 2 or 3 players. I still think they need. I think they need. Cole Palmer is still out injured. He's going to be out now for about 2 or 3 weeks. I expect
he's injured again. Is he, Palmer?
Yeah, he's out injured again.
Well, so same problem rehashed, or
groin. Yeah, too much shagging, Sean. Too much shagging. Footballer's injury. Typical footballer's injury.
Lucky bastard.
He's the guy. He's number 47 with the hood at Bonnie Blue's party.
You're going 2-1. Marshall.
2-1, yeah. Estavo.
Marshall saying 1-1. I actually am going to listen. I'm picking draws galore here. This doesn't work. Yeah, by the way, Joe, before I put my scoreline in, I'll do the pools. Do you remember the old pools? You remember Alan Hansen? Last Saturday, I won over £1 million at the pools. Yeah. Remember that advert back in the 90s?
Yeah.
Like that's about predicting score draws, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all about score draws. Yeah.
So do the pools still exist? Because I might have a pool. I might have a go on the game on the pools.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. You probably win about 80 quid nowadays. I don't think anyone does it anymore.
I'm going to go for Chelsea 2, Brighton 2. No, actually, no, I'm not, bollocks. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to join you, miserable copycat bastard. I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea. They'll have enough. Man City, Burnley. This one's easy for me. I am going to say 3-0 to Manchester City. They're back. What are you saying, Johnny?
Let me see. No, I'm going to go 4-0.
Marshall, are you going to see his 4-0 and raise him a 5-0?
3-0. He's gone 3-0.
Marshall's gone 3-0 as well. All right, fair enough. Easy peasy. Let's move on to the interest. This is probably the most interesting game of the weekend, to be honest. Crystal Palace against Liverpool. Palace and Liverpool have taken place many times in the last couple of months, haven't they? Crystal Palace come off the victors, or the better of it, more times than they haven't. Johnny, I'll let you go first.
I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
1-1. 1-1 to Johnny. Very cool. Marshall, let me see the colour of your prediction. I'm going to say
Marshall's gone 3-2 Liverpool.
3-2 Liverpool. So 2-3. Interesting. I am going to say 2-1 to Liverpool. So 1/2. 1-2. Yeah, it's going to be another late one, though. Another late one. They are the team that plays to 90 minutes. Do you know, Johnny, I think I saw a stat the other day. If the game finished at 80 minutes, Liverpool will be in the relegation zone, out of the Carabao Cup and the bottom of the table in the Champions League.
I mean, it's really crazy.
It's quite crazy, isn't it? Quite crazy. Let's move on to our old man, Big Ange Postecoglou, on the back of a wonderful midweek game. 2-2 away in Betis. I think this is Sunday now. I think we're moving into Sunday. No, it's not. It's still Saturday. Sorry, my bad.
Yes, Saturday. Still Saturday. Can I just ask the chat? I'd like to ask how many hamstring injuries will occur in the first night in this 90 minutes of football, Sean? How many hamstring injuries
with Forest and Sunderland? Yeah, it's more than none for sure. What's the chat saying? The chat's saying 3-1 to Forest, 6-1 to Sunderland.
Marshall's gone 1-0 to Sunderland. What are you going?
1-0 to Sunderland, so 0/1. I also think they will be on the back end of. I'm gonna join him and say 1-2, 2-1 to Sunderland.
That was exactly my score.
Yeah,
my score as well. Yeah,
and away win to a team that got promoted. That's an unusual score, an unusual set of predictions. Chat, unusual. And we've 3 hamstrings, according to Alex. 3 hammies.
3 hamstrings. Okay.
8 hamstring injuries to Foxy.
Is that including Ange Postecoglou and the training staff?
Do you remember when Klopp pulled a hammy celebrating?
Yeah. Do you remember that? It was very funny.
All right, then one that's closer to our chest, my man. Tottenham Wolves, 8 p.m. I will go first on this one, if you don't mind. I'm going to say this one is horrendous for me. As much as I never back against my team, but I'm going to say 1-1. I shouldn't, because I think Tottenham are better than Wolves by a country mile, but I just know the history of the Tottenham and I know the history of the Wolves at Tottenham. I'm going to go 1-1.
It's terrible. I'm going to have to let my heart rule my head here, but I'm going to go 2-1. I was going to go 2-2, but I'm going to go 2-1.
2-1 Tottenham. Fair enough. Who's scoring? Bit of colour.
Richarlison again.
Richie's back.
Richie's back. What about Wilson?
11 hamstring, says Lukosh in the Forest game.
Marshall.
Where's my man Marshall? Where are you, Marshall?
Spurs.
Spurs 2-0. 2-0. I hope you guys are right. Listen, I'll happily sacrifice the points on that one. I'm happy to say I've got enough points in my locker already.
You've got enough here. He's going the same as us guys. Right, I'll let you lead with Villa Fulham.
It's an interesting Villa. We haven't spoken about this, mate. They got their points against Bologna, by the way. Did you watch the game or did you see the highlights?
I haven't watched the highlights yet, but
Villa were good, mate. Villa were good. They look like they're back. They got a little bit of pep in their step again. They had a few chances.
Did you say a bit of pep in their step?
Yeah, not Pep Guardiola in their step, but just like a little bit more. Their mojo looked a little bit better for them. Against Fulham, I don't see anything other than a victory for Villa. It's just about whether they're going to score more than one goal. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say 2-0 Villa.
I'm going to go 1-1 with Kevin getting the equaliser. My mate Kev.
You're desperate for Kev
to score.
Villa's got Marshall's gone for a ball draw, 0-0. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. What's the chat saying? 0-0, says Lord Rodney Trotter. Fulham, Derek's going 1-0 Fulham. Big up to you, Derek. Betting against the tide there. Stephen's also going for a 0-0. Reese is saying 2-1 Villa. Yeah, I think it's not going to be a lot of goals in that one. If you're a betting man, probably sell goals. Sell goals. Biggest game of the weekend on the Sunday, Johnny boy. The big one, mate. Newcastle, Arsenal. Don't want to go there. We're going there in the Cup in October. What are you saying?
I don't know where to go with this one. I'm going to go a 2-2 draw.
I was going to do that. You bastard. That's okay, though. Basically, I could just match you lot. I could match one of you at least every game for the rest of the season and still probably win the tournament. And by the way, there is a trophy on the line. There is a trophy, right? I've got a in my local Tesco's. There's a Timpsons, and they've got in their little cabinet. They've got some really big, nice trophies, and I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one for us, especially if I win. I'm going to get one. I'm going to put it right there. I'll put it right behind.
Trophy. We'll have to do one for the fantasy football as well.
We'll look at that. We'll look at that in just a second. We'll catch up on where we're all at in the fantasy football. Marshall has gone for. I see Marshall in there. Marshall, I can't see you, mate. What are you saying for Arsenal Newcastle?
I think in the meantime,
you've got 1-0.
I saw Marshall was 2-1.
There he is. There he is.
Yeah,
he's going for 2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, no, I think that's entirely possible. Let's be honest.
I'm going for 2-1 Newcastle.
Right now, here comes the tricky bit. I'm going to go last in this. Marshall, who do you want to pick as your goal scorer?
We've got Everton West Ham first.
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Beg your pardon.
Everton West Ham, Johnny.
I forgot there was a game on a Monday. I'm going to go 2-0 Everton, and Harry Potter to be removed of his magic wand and shown his marching orders. Yeah. Finally.
I'm going to go 3-0 to Everton. I fancy them to have a bit of an easy day. I think I saw Marshall there. There he is. 3-1 to
Everton.
To Everton as well. So we've got the scores locked in. I think I've gone for like 3 or 4 score draws there. A lot of home wins, a couple of away wins.
I think there's a possibility of a lot of draws here in these games, to be honest.
Yeah, it's an interesting weekend. It's these sort of weekends, and there's only one more weekend fixture coming up after that before we get to another international break. Absolute nightmare. I'm thinking about taking Bugsy to like a hotel somewhere on the coast, not for the warm weather, but just to get out of Dodge for a little while because I can't stand these 2-week breaks. Right, Marshall, Johnny, you know the rules. I'm sure, Marshall, you do as well. You get to pick a player now. If he scores an assist, no matter how many, you get an extra point for each one. And if he scores a goal, then you get 3 points for each goal. However, there are players that you can't pick. Johnny, you are not allowed to pick Liam Delap, Guacarez, João Pedro, Mateta, and Evan Nilsson. The chat, Marshall, you are not allowed to pick Mo Salah, Richarlison, Declan Rice, Mohamed Kudus, or Jack Grealish. And I'm not allowed to pick Ekitike, Semenyo, Brennan Johnson, Guocarez, and Mo Salah.
Just before you do that, Sean, guys, come on. Where's your support, guys? Over 450 of you in here and 60 odd likes. I think that's our record low. It can't be that
60
bad.
likes.
60 odd likes. It's absolutely scandalous. Scandalous, Sean.
Come
so
on,
hit
guys.
the like button. It's only a press of a button, guys. So look, that's all you got to do.
Smash the
Right,
granny.
who are you going to choose? Haaland, easy.
Well, yeah, the obvious pick is Haaland, but someone said a minute ago that he's got a back injury.
Well, he has, but he's chosen Haaland. So,
he's gone for Haaland.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Reese says he's got 169, 184 of mine. Guys, thank you very much. Sorry, beg your pardon.
Haaland for Marshall.
Who are you going to go for?
I am going to pick. I'm going to pick. I don't know. I should go for Haaland, but I'm not going to because I don't know.
Those of you in audio.
Sorry, I'm trying to think. Do you have your answer?
Yeah, I'm going to go for. I do. Let's wait for you.
All right, I'm going to go for Jack Grealish.
Okay, fair enough. And I'm going to go for Phil, the Hitman Foden.
All right, there you go. We're all done. I should be changing that. For fuck's sake.
You can't, mate. You said it now. You're in the league,
It's done. Yeah, I've got plenty of space. Plenty of scope.
Let's quickly go before we go to let's have a quick look at the fantasy football before we depart.
Just give me a second here. Let's get the fantasy up.
It'd be interesting to see what happens. I need to get going with my fantasy football.
Can I get it up on the screen? That's not what I want. Remove. Kill that. Share screen. Application window. Here we go. Can you see it on the screen? No.
Not yet. Here we go. It's coming up on the screen. Okay, for those of you listening to audio.
Well, let's look at the how do I do this? Let's go to
the fantasy,
leagues and cups.
Fantasy football.
And the Football Inc. chat. I've improved to rank 322. I've jumped up 18 positions. The Jedi Knights is still 15 points ahead. James Rubin brothers. Not only is he very good at property, he's also very good at fantasy football. This is his current team. Ekitike is now suspended after his double donuts the other day. Apparently Haaland's going to play. Haaland's not even a doubt with the back injury thing. What are we doing here? I should have chosen Haaland. I want to change my name to Haaland in the thing.
You can't, mate. You made your statement. There's other weeks, mate. There's loads of weeks. You've had enough time to think.
You're worried, aren't you? You're terrified.
No, I'm not worried.
You're terrified of me extending my lead.
Had a good week last week. He said he scored nearly 90 points. Which is
this is the guy who's number one.
Very good.
Let's go back to the league.
54. I had a terrible start.
Where are you now? What position are you?
I'm 200 and something. Carlos Kickable. I'll tell you.
Can everyone in the chat let us know what position you are in the league? I want to know who is the person who's champion of the show, right? Who is? Tell me your position. If you're watching this and you can check, tell me your position in our league. I want to find the person with the highest points.
Sean, I am 220th. I've come right down this week. I was right up last week.
Miles ahead of me. It's a long season, though.
220. I'm 220th.
Is anyone from page one in the chat today?
Yeah, Jerry.
Lawrence, Jane. What's that?
Jerry, our American buddy. He was.
Where is he? He's not. No one there in the first page in the chat. Where do these people come from when they enter our group? How do they get in? How do they find these links, mate? I've never seen Vitor Mariano. Have you ever seen Vitor Mariano
Well,
in our
they
chat?
obviously joined. They obviously joined at some point, mate. They obviously
Rain.
joined.
Is that Rain? Rain Man? Is that Rain? The guy who's in Rain? I don't know. But I don't know any of these people. Eric Carlson. I've never seen you before. Andreas Toth. Never seen you before. In our chat saying hello. You know, who are these people, Johnny? We've been infiltrated by people that have...
Look, they're viewers, mate. These are guys that are viewed.
Are they, or are they people that get sent around links? Links to join?
No. They are they're fair game. They're fair game.
Yeah, of course. I'm a joke.
I mean, like some of them. How many entrants have we got? 400 and something, I think.
We got a lot.
You're not at the bottom.
I'm not at the bottom. I'm 322nd of, I think there's like 450 or something. Let's have a look. Go right down. I'm not even on the page. I'm on page 10 of Google here. That's me. 322. That's me. And then we go all the way down to how many people entered? 425. The Bozo Award to Alexander Zingale, who's already given up. No doubt about it. He's already given up.
What position is he? 400 and what?
It's 425 entrants.
So Darfar Sher is on page 1.
Is he?
Yes.
Okay, let's go and find out. How do I do that? Let's go back.
So how many points has he got?
Daffer Shah is on page 1.
Lord Rodney Trotter, the code, the page is closed, I'm afraid, mate. We closed it after the first game. 35th, he is.
Mark Walter, is that you?
Darfar Shaw, it must be. Let's have a look at him.
Frank's Dilemma. Look at his points. Haaland, Ekitike, Semenyo, Reinders, Salah. He's got a lovely team there. Look at that. Imagine that team in the Premier League. Look at that team. A 3-5. He's playing a 3-5-2 with Kudus and Xavi as wing backs.
I always play 3-5-2 or 3-4-3.
That team would get pulled apart though in the Premier League because there's no defense. There's no centre backs. There's There's Chalobah.
The rules are different this season because not only is it's how many.
He left 9 points on the. He left 9 points on the bench.
We've all been there. We've all been there. I left Reinders on my bench last week, and he got me 9 points. 9 points on the bench. Not what you want to see. Nathan McCreary, yes, our mate Nathan is in 5th place. He's officially the highest of our regulars.
Wait a minute. Really?
Yeah, Nathan McCreary. Have a look at old Nathan.
Hang on, let me get back up on the screen. See what his little magic source is. Then he got 52 points.
Yeah, last week. Yeah.
He's playing a standard 4-4-2. He captained Haaland, Ekitike, Semenyo, Rogers, Kirkes, Roden, Gay. His defence is picking up points left and right and centre.
Yeah, but he left
nothing on the bench as well. He left nothing on the bench. Very, very good.
Yeah, Haaland's the man. I didn't start with Haaland. I went with Salah. Yeah, now I've got a team with Salah and Haaland, so I'm quite happy with that.
Very good. All right, congratulations to everyone. 5th place, Nathan. Very impressive. All right, guys, we will leave it there. And we will see you tomorrow.
Sunday.
Oh, Sunday. Back on Sunday.
We will see you on Sunday. If we get a chance, Sean, we'll do a show tomorrow because I'm not leaving till late, so it's possible to do a show tomorrow. We'll see how
we'll speak about it off stream. All right, guys. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for the super chats. Absolute legends for everybody.
Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. And if you're listening on audio, hit that follow button. Couldn't do it without you guys. And goodbye from me.
Goodbye from him. Now watch the high-pitched voice.
Bye.